Hi, good morning. We are going to review NOAA's 8 to 14 day temperature outlook again. Here in Cleveland, we are in the cool. It's going to be very cooler-ish here the next basically week or so. We're not going to hit 70 until about a week from today. So we're feeling the effects of this cold weather. Obviously, it's not winter time where you'll get below average and you'll get potential of snowstorms and extreme cold fronts and Arctic air masses, but it's still kind of it's bittersweet, I think, in the summertime, because in the summertime, you want that warm weather, and when it's cold, it actually, I looked outside, it felt like fall. I was looking at the clouds last night, and they're like those white lake effect clouds. If you're from the Great Lakes, you know what I'm talking about, in the Great Lakes. Um, Anyways, it's pretty cold here in Cleveland relative to average. So here's our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This is from May 30th to June 5th. So things warm up in the west, they stay cool in the southeast, and also our precip is below normal here in the north, above normal towards the southwest and south and southeast. Let's take a look. We kind of skipped our 6 to 10 day outlook, but here we go. 6 to 10 day outlook. Below normal temperatures for, again, the east and parts of the central. Above normal, again, for parts of the northern central and also the west. And our precip is also continues to be below normal here in the north in days 6 through 10. So this is May 28th through June 1st. And above normal here in Texas. And let's check that out in Texas. That's eye-catching to me. Remember, I said about maybe a week ago how there was nothing eye-catching to me in terms of extremities in the weather. Well, now here in Texas, we have something eye-catching, and that's the quite significant amount of precip that's forecasted over that area. So let's take a look at what's going to happen over Texas. My first go-to is our thunderstorm outlook. So let's take a look at that. Our day 2 convective outlook. And again, not much in the way of severe weather, day 3. But again, like I said yesterday, it's kind of that stalled out front. So it's kind of a stalled out front. It looks like to me it's just thunderstorms reoccurring over the same area. There's a word for that on a micro scale, and that's training thunderstorms. In other words, when you get a train just going over the railroad track, they're training the same area. On a macro scale, I'm not sure that's the proper term to use, but nevertheless, we will be seeing a lot of precip. Let's take a look at our precip forecast to see the specifics on the amounts of precip we will be getting. Let's take a look at days. Here we go, 5-day total precipitation. And here is, again, our 5-day total precipitation. And you can see there's a lot of rain here over the Midwest. Wow. Breadbasket of the country. We're talking 5 inches here in those yellowish, orangish areas, rather. And then anywhere expanding on that, we see 4 inches. And then it kind of goes down from there. But that's a lot of rain, guys. There will be some most likely flooding potentials in these areas. And then taking a look at our 1 to 7 day, I actually want to take a look at our days 6 through 7. So, yeah, let's take a look at days 4 through 5. So, again, this isn't getting into days 6 through 14 like we saw on our previous images. So, we're not seeing the rain in Texas. But I would expect this to shift westward somehow or some way. I'm not totally sure how, because this does seem like a stalled out cold front. In fact, let's check that out. Current frontal boundaries, USA. Let's take this out. Weather.com usually has a good one for this. So yeah, I mean, we have a cold front and we have a warm front. It does not look like a stationary front. Now, there's a word for this type of front. I'm not sure if it's occluded or not. Don't quote me on that, but nonetheless, we will have a lot of rain along this cold air boundary, this cold air mass, or cold front right here. So get ready, guys. If you're in any of these areas, you might want to just make sure you're ready for some potential flooding there, doing what you have to do to prepare for that in any situation. I always remember the phrase, turn around, don't drown, if you're driving in that. Let's take a look at, let's do a final review on our Jamstack weather model and see what that has in store for us. Again, we're just going to take a look at summer. We're not going to get too ahead of ourselves, but June through August has a La Nina developing, at least starting to develop. See some cool waters in the equatorial Pacific there, right in the central part of the equatorial Pacific. And in terms of what that gives us for temps, gives us a very hot summer, and in accordance with the Jamstack model over the Midwest, and basically anywhere from Chicago to New Mexico to Arkansas, it's going to be hot. A very torching summer in those areas. Let's take a look at our precip anomalies, and this is what kind of scares me a little bit, not to alarm anyone, but the reality is we might see a drought here develop in the Midwest this summer, because when you get those hot temperatures combined with the lack of precip, that can spell out for drought and then potentially wildfires. So you do want to be on guard for that. Again, just a possibility. But on the good note, we don't have a lot of hurricane activity, at least from what it looks like from this model, as we see a lot of dry air around Florida. Although that doesn't mean necessarily you won't get a lot of hurricane activity. It just means the model is not sniffing out a lot of precipitable, or rather precip in those areas. So, you could still get, there's always differences in the modeling. And, for example, this past winter we had December in January. This is kind of an irrelevant example, but December and January are forecasted warm, and they turned out very cold. But the point is, I guess there's a lot of factors in meteorology, and just because one model is saying one thing doesn't mean you're going to get that face value result, is what I should say. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and make sure you share and subscribe to my content for much more long-range weather content. Thank you, and have a great day or night, wherever and whenever you're watching. Bye, take care.